This is Boeing on the 5-minute time frame. I'm going to give you some price targets for Friday. We ended the day at $190.43, down more than 2.5%. The 52-week low, $120.99, and the 52-week high, $243.10. The 1-year price target on TradingView, $256.45, which represents a 35% increase from where we are. Taking a look at the chart, to the north side takes us back to the middle of the trend and resistance, and a possible take profit area at 191.86. Above that, at 2 standard deviations, takes us to 193.66. 3 standard deviations and another level of resistance and take profit area 194.56, and at 4 standard deviations 195.47. To the south side, back at -2 standard deviations, takes us to 190.08. This is support. Below that, at another level of support, 189.21. At -4 standard deviations, 188.26. Because we are at support right here, I will anticipate a bounce on Friday. But can we continue to go up? That remains to be seen. But if we go down, then I'm going to anticipate this line to hit. And then if we do, a little bounce. And then if it goes down and craters some more, if we hit this line, I will anticipate another bounce. It's not going to stay down there forever. The RSI is at 37. And I want to thank Murat for pointing out this stock. He said he anticipates a bounce at nearly $212. So I'm going to flip this over onto the daily time frame and show you my chart. Wrong button here. All right, $212 takes us to right here. This I have marked out. Basically, you want to ignore my horizontal lines. These are old support and resistance lines. So when I look at this, this is a former spot of -2 standard deviations, the middle of the trend, and 2 standard deviations. So -2, middle 2, -2, middle 2. And up here, -2, middle, and 2 standard deviations. I normally erase them when I make a video, but I haven't had a chance to do that. And I like to see where we've been and where we could be going. So I like to leave it, but it does make my chart look very messy. But I'm going to give you some levels on the daily now. To the north side from where we are takes us to -2 standard deviations, and that is $216.16. But from where we are to this line, this turns into resistance. So there's going to be a battle along this line, and hopefully we can push through. But if we go to the south side, -3 standard deviations takes us to 183.69, and below that, 167.62. The last time I bought this stock was roughly in the 180s. I'm going to have to show this to you on a different time frame, but roughly in the 180s. I'm still up, but not as much as I was previously. I'm actually investing for my mom, so hopefully things will turn around soon. Now, to the north side, again, I'm going to give you the levels. Basically 200, and 3 cents. And then back to the middle of the trend would take us to 232.62. So again, that 212 that Murat talked about is right here. All right, I'm going to flip this on to the weekly. I don't like the downward channel. That is not good. All right, to the north side takes us to roughly 252.81 at 2 standard deviations and resistance. And below that, back at the middle of the trend, again on the daily, 144.02. The RSI is still falling. And on the monthly time frame, We are right here. To the north side takes us to this green line at 243.78, and to the south side at -2 standard deviations and support 123.70. And I've kept track of prices for quite some time now, but I did buy some at 186.50. And I want to show you one other thing before I sign off. Note we hit resistance here, here, and here. What happens when we hit resistance? People take their profits and they run. It happens to every single stock and every single ETF. Once it started to crater, it didn't even rest along this line. It just went straight down here to -2 standard deviations. And what happens at support? Up bounce as people buy the dip. Then we started to go up, went sideways, tried to rip past what then becomes resistance at the middle of the trend. When we are down here, this turns into resistance. When we are up here, this turns into support. Fell down, consolidated, bar-coded, went sideways, tried it again, and history repeats itself. We're back down here at support and another bounce to the middle of the trend, and that is resistance. All right, that does it for me. Thank you so much for watching.